Hey everyone, Jason Weckerle here. Today I'm going over the Shimano Tranx bait casting fishing reels. I own a 300 size and I own two 400 sizes. One is the Shimano Tranx HG, that's the high gear ratio reel that has the big power handle. And the other one's the 400 standard model. This one doesn't reel as fast, has the normal handle, but they both serve their purposes when we're out musky fishing, pike fishing. These reels would also be good reels to use for salmon, if you're down in the Amazon, peacock bass fishing, because you're throwing big lures, stuff like that. But these reels are made for big lures, big fish. I have them spooled up with a 100-pound test Power Pro braid, has a 20-pound diameter, and I'm going to go over the things I like and I didn't like about these reels. So let's get started. First, we'll talk about the HG. This is the high gear ratio reel. This thing picks up between 40 to 42 inches of line per revolution or per reel turn. So if you reeled it one time back to there, 40 inches of line goes onto that reel. So this thing is fast-paced, excellent for casting bulldog rubber lures, Medusa rubber lures, swimming dogs, shadzillas, like big swim baits, big rubber baits. If you want to burn bucktails really fast, bucktail spinners, this reel's really good for that. I don't like to use double blades too much on this reel, just because, like, unless they're smaller, like size 7, size 8. But it can be a little bit fatiguing when you're using larger blades with a faster gear ratio, because the torque that the reel it puts on the reel doesn't always feel like it's keeping up with the size of the blades and the pressure those blades are putting on your reels. But I know a lot of guys that just bought the HG and they love casting bucktails and double blades with it. But in my opinion, I like the standard gear ratio, which picks up 35 inches of line per reel turn about. Because a slower gear ratio takes on a lot of the fatigue in your wrists, your hands, your forearms, your shoulders, and helps you just slowly grind those bucktails back to the boat. But if you're gonna sit there and burn bucktails like a single blade, size 7, size 8, even a single 9, this reel does the job perfectly, especially in summer when those fish are on faster moving baits. The HG reel really does the job. I like to use the standard model with the normal handle. This is a good all-around reel. I mean, I have this on a medium heavy action musky rod, a St. Croix Premier 8'6", and I love this reel for bucktails, topwaters, glide baits, all that stuff. I mean, really good reel for those applications. The HG reel I also love for topwater. It's especially if you're throwing like big fat bastards, cannonball prop baits, and the HG reel, I mean, if you're gonna buy one of these and you need just one musky reel, I would go with the HG, just because you can fill the gap of all sorts of different techniques, including casting big rubber baits where you need to pick up the line every time you rip that rod, pick up that line quick so you're not missing bites or not feeling the strikes. Because on those rubber baits, muskies might be aggressive, but sometimes they can just tap them like a bluegill biting or like a walleye bite. And if you're not picking up enough line and keeping up with it and keeping the line tight, you're not going to feel those bites sometimes. You'd be very surprised. Just because they're big fish doesn't mean they can't bite light. And then sometimes they hit so hard they almost rip the rod out of your hand. But the HG size, if I had to just buy one reel for muskies, I would go with this one. I like the fact that they're low profile, they're not round, so they fit in the palm of your hand really comfortably all day, like you can see right there. And they're super smooth reels. Like, to me, I've never tried, like, I've tried quite a few bait casting reels for muskies. I've tried Alcumas, I've tried Daiwas, Abu Garcia Ambassadors, all that stuff. And the Shimano Tranxes, in my opinion, are the absolute best. They're pricey at about anywhere between $290 to $320. But when you're muskie fishing, you're going to learn that muskies are very expensive to fish for. It can be the most boring sport sometimes if you don't have your head in the game. They will disappoint you more than they'll please you, those fish. I mean, they're not called the fish of 10,000 casts for no reason. You can go weeks, months, years without even catching one. I should know because every muskie I've hooked up with in the past 7 years just about has gotten away on me, or it's just followed the lure to the boat and turned away. I fish on a lot of really highly pressured waters, and although I've seen a lot of fish follow, I've lost a lot of fish. Getting them in the net and for a photo has been the challenge for me the past 7 years. Seems my buddy Tyler has good luck catching muskies. He's got the luck of a leprechaun, basically, because he's not even muskie fishing and he's sitting there catching 50 inchers on walleye tackle. My wife is catching 44 inchers on walleye and panfish rods. But it seems when we're going out fishing for them, we're getting a lot of follows and we're just not getting the commitment. Or if we do get a bite, they jump off the line or they rush the boat, hit right at the last second and go nuts and get away. Stuff like that. Muskies will scare the crap out of you sometimes. But these reels are super smooth. Like I said, I'm fishing 100-pound braid on here. They take 80 to 100-pound braid really well. The 300 size model looks like this one, just a slight bit smaller. I got 30-pound braid on that reel, and I love using it for pike, king salmon, brown trout on Lake Michigan. I love using it for bass, and I love using it for muskies during the springtime. I have it on a medium heavy action rod. But when you're casting smaller musky baits, that 300 size is really, really good. These are the 400 size I'm showing you right here. The only problem I ever had with these reels is underneath the line wind. Sorry about that bucktail. Maybe I'll show you on this one. Underneath this line wind that goes back and forth when you reel, there's a little screw. And that screw one day was coming loose. And for emergency purposes, I had to put a tiny dab of I had to tighten it back on and put a tiny dab of super glue on it just because it kept coming loose for some reason. But that is not something that should be a problem for most people, I wouldn't think, because I haven't heard that problem reading reviews. I know a lot of buddies who throw for muskies who use these reels. But I put a tiny dab of super glue on that little screw on the level wind just so that it wouldn't keep coming loose. And I'm going to chisel that super glue off of there and probably send the reel back to the manufacturer and just have them work on it or something. But if you're spending $300 on a reel, you're going to want to send it in for repairs if it ever fails. And that was the one thing I didn't like, is that level wind screw came loose on one of these reels. I can't even remember which one now. But it makes you paranoid sometimes if stuff like that happens, especially when you are on vacations or long trips or you're out muskie fishing and you don't want your gear to fail. But other than that, I mean, it's the smoothest reel I've ever used for a bait casting reel. They hold up, they're durable, they're comfortable to fish with. They cast really far. I mean, I have no complaints. You don't have to take super long casts muskie fishing, but I can bomb a lure out there and it just flies. I mean, super smooth. The drag system on them is smooth as well. I don't use the drag a lot musky fishing. I mean, normally when you musky fish, you tighten down the drag, you set that hook. And muskies, as big as they are, they don't fight for long periods of time like salmon or carp or catfish do. They tend to expel all their energy all at once, and within 3 minutes or less, that fish is normally in the boat, in the net. Sometimes within seconds, you hook that fish by the boat, someone gets the net, and the fish is right in the net. So you're not dealing with too many drag screaming, drag peeling fish when you're fishing for muskies. But what they make up for in short battles, some people say weakness, they make up for it in really intense short battles, basically. Like, they can go absolutely psychotic, and you need the right reel to cast all day. Those big lures, they'll wear the gears out in your reels. And if you buy a cheap musky fishing reel, be prepared, if you musky fish a lot, to replace that reel every 2 years or less. I mean, the spinner blades on number 9, number 10 bucktail spinners pull on the gears in your reel really hard and can strip them. The big glide baits and top waters that your jerk baits you're jerking on can put a lot of torque into your reel and strip the gears. I mean, musky fishing is not for the faint of heart or the impatient or people that don't have dedication for it, because if you like staring at your lure swimming in the water a lot and hoping for a bite, that's musky fishing for you. Even the best musky fishermen out there do not catch fish every trip or every week they fish. There's a lot of times where there's long periods of time you don't catch them. But if you're out on the water, you want to be comfortable. You don't want your shoulders and your back hurting, your arms, your wrists, your hands. And those Shimano Tranx reels knocked it out of the park. Absolutely amazing product. I think they're worth, I mean, I bought them when they were $280. I've had these for about, I want to say, almost 10 years now. If not more. I can't even remember. Whatever year the Tranx came out, I started using these. So I've had them for a long time, and they've held up. I can't say anything more about it. I highly recommend them. If you guys like this video, subscribe to my page, hit the like button. I'll take you guys out on my fishing adventures. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Sometimes you'll get reviews, you'll get tutorial videos, fishing videos, vlogging videos if I'm on vacation or anywhere interesting. But hopefully you guys like the content, show the page support. All of you who have been showing support, thank you very much. I'm hoping to get more views. I'm hoping to get more traction here on YouTube. Gives me a huge reason to keep doing this, especially because it's a lot of hard work, a lot of hours filming, fishing, editing, trying to figure out topics to cover, all that stuff. And hopefully you guys like this video. Take care. Good luck fishing.